And yet another good afternoon here on AM 1410 WRMN in Elgin. It is Wednesday. It's the 27th of April already. Can you believe it?
No, I can't.
Well, I can. It's almost, we should be halfway through spring already, but I can't tell because it's been raining so much.
It's been winter.
It'll be summer soon.
Late fall, early winter it's been.
Laura Dion-Jones. This is Laura Dion-Jones show, by the way. You guys want to get rich quick, lose weight fast, look young forever. This is the place you need to be, the Laura Dion Show, every Wednesday here on AM 1410, WRMN in Elgin. Laura, how you doing today?
I'm just doing fabulous considering the last 3 weeks. This is show number 76.
Fantastic.
And it's great to be back in the saddle here at WRMN. I've missed all you guys, and I've missed a lot. And I've lost track of time, and oh my God, this has been an incredible 3 weeks with my knee replacement. And it was good to listen to those 3 week shows that we had pre-recorded.
Isn't that fun?
Oh, it was like, at least Evie says, must be like an out-of-body experience. It was very fun, and
Cool.
it perked me up because for those of you who don't know, on March 31st, I had a total left knee replacement. It's my second one. I had the right one done summer of 2009.
Okay.
And within 1 week, that following Friday, I was back at East Bank doing the Airdyne 15 minutes of cardio. Drove 2 blocks to get to the club because I couldn't walk it. And it took me about a week to get back into doing it for an hour a day. And then I was doing 5 to 6 miles in an hour. And yesterday I did almost 12 miles. So I build up, I'll do 15 minutes and the next day 20. And then the next day I thought, you know what, you slug, you could do 20, you could do 60. So bada bing, I do the 60. But anyway, tonight's Mayor Captain swearing in at City Hall, and
right.
You guys
You
sticking
can be
around?
live, or you can watch it. You can watch it on the cityofelgin.org. Go to the video center. You can see it live.
God,
so if you're on the outlying area, it's
terrific,
a great modern day tool.
And then, Mikey, you've been in Cali. How's it been?
I miss California already. Although when I was out
It's going to slip into the sea. Shut up.
No, well, I was out in California and I wrote down a message in the sand for my wife because I took a picture of it.
Slayer. I saw it on Facebook.
That I missed her, and I really did miss home. So it was nice to be out there.
I thought she went with you.
No, she couldn't come.
Oh.
April, she's an environmentalist, and April is her busiest month of all time.
I would think.
Earth Day.
She came here with her Earth Day events and her Earth Day educational seminars that she does, and she works for the Soil and Water Conservation District, so she had her hands full. And plus, our daughter had spring break a couple of weeks before. She had no time off of school. And I just went out there and visited my best friend Adam. Had a great time.
God bless. How fun for you.
Always nice to come home.
Yeah, it
Always
is,
nice
isn't
to
it?
come home,
Just like Dorothy says, there's no place like home.
You got that right. Next time they all have to come out there with me, and then I could probably listen to me suffer in California for an extra couple of days.
Oh,
Could you do a couple shows out there, Laura Dion-Jones, a couple of road trips? That would be
wouldn't
fun.
that just
You know
be-
everybody, so we can house out there for 2 weeks.
My
Sure.
God, yeah.
Sure
I
we
know
can.
people out
Bound to be
there.
a concert at the beach like you always like.
Could you see it? Reporting live from Venice Beach, California.
Yeah. Volleyball, anyone?
Don't forget about the 2-hour time change. I forgot about that a couple
That's
times.
okay, though. We
Yeah.
could deal. What
Yeah,
would
we
it
sure
be?
we could.
3 here, 2, 1. It'd be 1 in the afternoon there.
Yep, maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon, exactly.
And speaking of time change, how about the royal wedding?
Yeah.
Did you know your good friend John Dalton was on Channel 7, ABC 7 2 days ago? He's having a party simultaneously about 4:30 at his house. China, all the good things.
I'll tell you what, if
they'll
I
enjoy
lived
it.
here in Elgin, I'd be at that party with my
you
tiara.
could probably head out there early.
Nah,
and
I ain't getting up at 2 o'clock. I'm TiVoing.
Teresa Gutierrez came out to talk to him about it.
I heard that. Listen, how about the price of coffee?
Yeah. Isn't that something?
What's wrong with the price of coffee?
It's
going up.
It is.
Like astronomically.
Really?
Yeah, Diva's a two a day latte junkie. I mean, seriously.
It is pretty expensive.
I didn't hear about that.
Well,
And
all food items are anything that needs to be transported anymore, but coffee
sure.
is number one.
But you know what? The experts say that booming foreign economies have more people drinking coffee worldwide, and it is slowly overtaking tea because tea is the most popular beverage in the
Wow,
world.
it's hard to believe. Tea's my least favorite beverage.
And stock traders drive the price up, and those boys drink this stuff so potent that they call it rocket fuel.
Yeah.
You know any traders from the Board of Trade?
Only
They're
Benedict
always jacked
Arnold.
up.
No, I don't.
Yeah, they're always jacked up. And the price of gas, what do we think about that?
Chicago's the highest gas in the country.
And who do we blame that on, and what do we blame it on?
Derek Rose. D. Rose. Somebody. I don't know. It's got to be on somebody.
No, it's
Here's
just
what I read.
inflation. It's the way of the world. No one could
Yeah, let's hear what it
complain
is.
for
Let's hear your Chicago. Well, you're a Chicagoan. We're suburban
I get
kids.
gas out here, honey.
Well, it's all right.
Do you know what the word axiomatic means?
I have no idea.
The axiomatic concept of supply and demand dictates that if there is a decrease in the amount of a commodity available and an increase in the public need for it, then the price of that commodity will go up axiomatically situation.
Okay.
That's an axiomatic situation.
Very nice. Some of your Paul Harvey. Good work.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got some really cool guests with us today, so without wasting too much more time, but I do have one more little PSA before we go introduce everybody. Elgin Area Leadership Academy graduates 20 community leaders. This Saturday, we graduate. The 2010-2011 class of Elgin Leadership Academy graduates on April 30th, celebrating the completion of an 8-month intensive leadership program that provided them insight into many aspects of their community. The program of the Elgin Area Chamber, Don Fox and Dan Waters have served as the volunteer coordinators of the EALA class since its inception in 1991. I just want to say, third on the list of what do we call them? Graduates. Laura Dion-Jones, the Laura Dion-Jones Show. So if you want me to read all the names, I can.
Did you get a diploma, or will it be summer school?
Gee whiz, I don't know. I think we're getting a diploma Saturday. We're having graduation breakfast at ECC.
Good, right.
So I just wanted to get that in because I am extremely proud that I stuck it out.
Sure.
The only reason I worded that way is because the week after surgery, it was the last class, and I drove up here for it.
Wow.
So
we talked with you on the radio on April 12th. You were pretty good. You were working out live on the radio.
Yeah. He and Chef Jeff.
Oh yeah,
called to see, and you called when my PT was there.
Perfect.
And she was
unrehearsed.
She's killing me.
That was all right. You sounded good. That was 14 or 12 days after the event. So
yes.
You did well.
Yeah. In the studio with us today are fresh from the left coast, Mike Hunziker, one of my favorite guy pals.
Thanks.
Jeff Myers, my very special co-host, and of course our YouTube camera girl, Valerie, the new grandma, Swan.
Hey, congratulations.
Nice.
And our special in-studio guest today is Mary Dulabaum, Judson University's Director of Marketing, here to talk about the recent World Leadership event with President George W. Bush as the keynote speaker, and to also tell us all about Judson's upcoming prayer breakfast and the D. Ray Wilson Award on May 4th. And then Erin Sullivan Schaefer, Regional Director of the Fox Valley American Cancer Society, is going to call in. She was going to be here, but she's going to call in to fill us in on their upcoming Walk and Roll Cancer fundraiser. And then joining us all the way from Michigan is international author and speaker Michael Angelo Caruso, here to give us some tips, great tips, I love this guy, on effective leadership, how to motivate employees, friends, customers, vendors, relatives, neighbors, etc., to take action and get them to do what you want. And so we're going to talk about his program, and he is going to be, what?
I just have some breaking news. It's not happy news.
Tell me.
It has to do with Chicago.
Okay.
You guys know who Elmer
I know.
Haldren is?
Who? Empire.
Elmer Lynn Haldren.
Okay.
Empire Today, Empire Carpets.
Okay.
He's only done voiceovers for years because he passed away.
Oh.
Passed away at the age of 89.
God bless him.
Yeah. 588-2300. That's the guy.
We should all be so lucky as to make it to 89.
Again, he was
brains in our health.
He sang. His voice was used when they sang it. It was his voice, part of the chorus.
Oh, really?
And like the last 5 years, you haven't seen him on camera. You've seen like a cartoon caricature of him, but it's his voice. Yes. Because he's Empire. I always thought Empire.
You mean baseball Empire?
Well, very good. Nice. George Steinbrenner, you are. Yeah. But I always thought they were worldwide, and they are Chicago-based, where you'd always think they were everywhere. Because when Wayne and Garth had their movie, they're watching Empire commercials.
Yeah.
So it's so Chicago, but when you're growing up, you thought, well, they're not just Chicago, they're...
London too.
Well,
they carpet the Windsor Castle.
More than Luna, I thought, yeah. So it was like he says, a classic, almost like Hudson 32700 when you were younger. That was the big phone number for CET television.
National 2.
When I was younger?
Yeah. Well, 867-5309. I still dial it every day.
See,
right.
Just
Tommy Two-Tone, one of those. Something like
habit over
but he was a wonderful talent. And
yeah,
Chicago icon. He really is.
He was.
I agree.
Yeah, he was.
I always thought he was more international.
Yeah, me too.
Well, meanwhile, back at the WRMN Ranch, today's show is brought to you again by...
You were there just a few moments ago, so when you showed Claire Oleus, Dr. Claire Oleus, the great chiropractic folk, you were there. You showed her your knee, did you not?
Showed her my knee and my straight spine and my hips.
What'd you say about your knee?
She was smiling. I mean, I think she thought it was terrific. I look different, don't I? I'm taller.
You are taller.
Very straight.
Uh-huh.
I don't walk like a hunched over old crone anymore.
Yeah.
And it'll only get better. And you know what? One quick thing. My orthopedic surgeon nixed my boat school.
Oh, no.
My race boat driving school.
Thunder on the
Let that
Fox.
happen.
Well, I can go to that, but he won't let me go to the boat school. The race driving school is May
too much.
21st and 22nd. When I told him they flip you upside down in the cockpit, in a tank of water, and you have to take off the harnesses, put on the oxygen, or rather put on the oxygen, get out of the harness and swim to the surface. He looked at me and he goes, I don't think so.
Nice try, though.
Yeah, I tried. So, but I can go and I just can't go to the driver school. So
there's always
maybe
next
next
year.
year. Yeah, maybe next year, because I really was jazzed. You know that.
Dr. Clay, good work
And-
there.
and that's
847-888-9988. Dr. Claire endorses your knee, so that's what
And
she's-
my back.
And your back, and we're glad to have you as well back. Also, how about joining the swim team? Can we do it? Can you swim? Again, my favorite Burt Lancaster
Like a
movie was
mermaid.
The Swimmer. Yeah, there you go. But you don't even have to be a member of the Y, the Taylor Y. You know where they are. They're at 50 North McLean Boulevard. You can join the swim team right now. So give them a call. They are 847-888-7410. It's been a long time since we
You are such
talked
a
about
hand in
these
that
numbers.
camera.
Well,
Honest to
we
God.
have done shows, but it's been a while since we actually assembled here 28 days to chart as far as the live aspect of the show. So we're back into the flow, and you're doing
Has
well.
it been that long?
Well, yeah, because we did the 3 recordings in March 13, 20.
Yeah, we did, didn't
So
we?
we did something like that. So
I especially got a kick out of the day the guy won the big Powerball or Mega Millions in New York.
that's right.
On Friday, and I come in on Sunday. We're taping the show for, I forgot what day it was.
Yeah.
It was the third one.
You have a great
And
time
I'm
with
like,
that.
oh my God, that guy, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, that happened 3
I
weeks
know.
ago. And I'm like, you mean he won again?
That's so cute. We seconds before we have to tell your guests, seconds before we go on the air, remember this is a bit in the future, this show.
Yeah.
We talk about, we mention it, we get on the air.
It was nuts.
He won on Friday, he won again. It was so cute. As soon as the show went on, time became, like radio is.
It was fun. It was
cell
funny. It was
time.
cute. Yeah.
It was all cute stuff. Those recorded shows are very nice.
I
It is fun to
live.
hear yourself like that too.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you're driving around in a car. It's incredible.
Yeah.
When you're, as you know.
I got a big kick out of it.
Yeah, it really is. It's a strange concept.
So listen, kids, we'd also like to thank snobhounds.com, a canine clothing company. Think Nike meets Donna Karen, but for canines. And KC Tool, an automotive specialty tool company available through your Snap-on mobile tool distributor. And a special thank you to Casey for making this show and all of our shows possible. And we have a quote of the week. And you could do a who said if you want, but you're not going to get it.
All right.
You ready?
Go ahead.
And it's not long, but just hold your horses over there.
Well, we're always on tenterhooks.
When you make a mistake, don't look back at it long. Take the reason of the thing into your mind and then look forward. Mistakes are lessons of wisdom. The past cannot be changed. The future is yet in your power.
Your statements are like reading assignments in English class. They are incredible with that. I forgot what we started with.
She's an American writer.
Oh, she. Okay, it's, well, you've been in California lately. You're good with that.
Laura Ingalls Wilde.
No,
Yeah,
Phyllis Bottom.
Oh, of course.
You knew
My second
that?
guess.
Yeah, California, bottom, it all fits. The bottom out.
And I want to say the future truly is in your power. So commit to get fit and join us for Elgin's Biggest Loser 5. How's that for a segue?
Smooth.
Beginning June 1st at ECC every Wednesday from 5 to 7 p.m. for the 8 weeks. Guys as well as gals of all ages are welcome, and EBL, Elgin's Biggest Loser, comes to ECC, and you're all invited. And who doesn't want to be Speedo worthy by the end of this July, Mikey?
I've got it stamped on my back. Speedo worthy.
And now it's time for our first special guest today. Let's give a warm LDJ welcome. You did it! To Mary Dulabam of Judson University.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here and to talk with you about our World Leader Forum that took place April 13th. It's just been around the corner, and we're already moving forward to the things at Judson.
I came to that, remember?
Yes, we
that
were
was
thrilled
a
that you
week,
were there.
2 weeks after my whatchamacallit.
I was amazed.
I was amazed too. And I was glad I had an aisle seat because boy was I uncomfortable with my knee. But you know what? Let's start with what you do at Judson.
Sure. I'm the Director of Communications and Marketing at Judson University. We are located in Elgin, Illinois on I-90 and State Road 31. We're a small Christian liberal arts university offering 60 majors, adult programs, online programs, and graduate programs.
I saw also online that you have adult degree at night?
Yes, we do. We have an adult degree program. You can earn your bachelor's within about 16 months there. It's an intensive program with a cohort model, but you can also go for some certification, especially if you're into education and you want to be certified so you can teach here in the area. You can do that. We have a very strong program in business and leadership, masters in organizational leadership, and we also are ready to start our entrepreneurial studies program, which is brand new, and we're not quite there. We're still doing some fundraising efforts for that, but a lot of that curriculum is prepared, and when we're ready with faculty and such, we'll be announcing that. But that's certainly coming for us. It'll be available both for the undergraduate. For instance, if I was an education major or a music major, say music is a better example, and I wanted to some of our recent graduates, they have to approach the current job market. It's very difficult. They have to maybe start their own businesses or work in more of an entrepreneurial model. And so you can take that entrepreneurship degree and apply that to whatever your major is and learn the business skills ready to start your own business. And that's what we're interested in, is starting new businesses, getting people back to work.
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about your upcoming prayer breakfast and how it got started.
Certainly, we are thrilled. Judson holds the first week of May. It will be May 4th on a Wednesday this year, the annual prayer breakfast. And that event brings about 350 business leaders, church leaders, community leaders, those involved with volunteering. And that event will be at our Betty Lindner Commons, which is at the heart of our campus. It will be from 7:30 to 9 a.m. on Wednesday, May 4th. This year, we have a wonderful speaker lined up, and that speaker is Dr. Berlene Miller Burris. She is the wife of former Senator Roland Burris, and she's an academic in her own right, and so she's had a dual career in nursing and theology, and she's going to be speaking to us about a book she's just written. It's called Just Stand, God's Faithfulness Never Fails, which is perfect for Judson, and especially for the prayer breakfast.
Tell us about the D. Ray Wilson and the D. Ray Wilson Community Service Award also.
Certainly. D. Ray Wilson was an individual. He's since passed away, but he was very involved in the editorial board with the Courier News and was a very active volunteer here in the Fox Valley and in so many different organizations. And he came to Judson. This is actually like our 23rd annual prayer breakfast, and he was the originator for our prayer breakfast. And he said, we need to have a prayer breakfast that brings our leaders together, much like the Washington prayer breakfast does as we come to this special time of year. And we need to be bringing our leaders together, our emergency service personnel, and remembering them in both prayer, but also in celebrating the volunteers in our community. And so we started the D. Ray Wilson Community Service Award several years ago.
Very coveted award.
And it celebrates volunteers. Here in the Fox Valley, or what we call the Golden Corridor, Bartlett, Elgin, Dundee's, both Dundee's, Carpentersville, Sleepy Hollow, that whole region is the range of where we pull the nominees from. So we're thrilled. We have 3 very strong nominees for this year's D. Ray Wilson Community Service Award.
Can you say who the nominees are?
Yes, I'm thrilled. We have 3 nominees. The first one I'm thrilled about is Cherie Murphy.
Oh,
she
no
works
kidding.
for the city of Elgin.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So Cherie is was nominated by the city and for all of the ways that she works with the volunteers, and this goes beyond her work there at the city. She's going to be one of our nominees for that award.
Cool.
The second individual is Donna Anderson. Donna Anderson, we are thrilled to have as a nominee. She has volunteered with so many organizations over the years, and she was instrumental in starting the Greater Elgin Healthcare Center in 2001. She was really working behind the scenes to get that started, and she's worked with the YWCA. Anyway, let me go back to the Greater Elgin Family Care Center. That provides medical care for 18,000 area residents. And, if she hadn't been so instrumental in starting that, we wouldn't have that service provider here in our area, and she's still involved with that. Oh, she's been on so many other community organizations. That's just one.
That's a tough decision. Who's the third?
The third is a lady from Bartlett. Her name is Shirley Sherrod. She was nominated by the Bartlett Police Department after serving for 15 years for them in a great amount of area community events. So she has been involved with the Park District in Bartlett, Hanover Township, the Bartlett 4th of July Committee. She has served to be on the meet and greet in the residence in the lobby of the police department, and helped with certain other day out and national night out celebrations there with Bartlett. So we're thrilled to have her
Three tough
nomination.
choices. Yeah.
Bartlett has a wonderful national night out as well. I've been going there for the last 4 years.
It's a what?
It's the national night out. It's a
Okay.
day.
First Tuesday in August.
Elgin does block parties. Bartlett has national night out, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful time for Bartlett residents.
We'll have to work on that.
Oh, that's what's wonderful.
Listen, we have a phone call?
Sure do. 847-931-1410. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's say hello to Jerry.
Hi there. I was curious about the D. Ray Wilson winners and wonder who has won that award in the past. What kind of legacy does it have in our community?
Well, great. That's a great question. We are thrilled about our former award winners. Last year, our winner was Nancy Schooneman. Nancy lives in the Elgin area, has been involved. She works for District U46 and providing care for children, and she has volunteered for so many different groups here in the Elgin area. She was one of our last year's winner. The year before that, it was Marlene and Jack Shales. They too have volunteered for so many different community organizations.
Jack Shales gave me this pin.
Yes, and the Shales are great philanthropists and great, but it's beyond the philanthropy. It's that they go to all of the events and they volunteer, and they are so willing to help in whatever capacity you ask for.
God bless.
So they're amazing as well.
And I know Dr. Claire Aleos was a recipient.
Yes, Dr. Aleos was a recipient. She received that award. Myrna Hanselman received the award.
I love
Floyd Brown received that award too. So those are just some of the, Carl Flack was another one. I didn't know him, but he was our first winner. So these are great, it's a great legacy that we are thrilled to continue on with for this year. Of these three nominees, unfortunately, I can't tell you who the winners. You're going to have to come to the breakfast.
I'll be there.
To find that out.
You should come, Valerie.
Yeah,
you would enjoy it, especially with the keynote speaker. Thanks for calling, Jerry.
Yes.
We appreciate your question and your listenership. We're running out of time, and I want to know quickly how the winner is selected, and one thing that's really unique about this year's prayer breakfast.
Sure. The winners with the award, we really measure the level of service they've given, the length of time, the leadership that they've been involved with, and the number of organizations they're involved with.
Okay.
So we have a committee that selects that. It's not just Judson folk, but we're part of that.
Cool. What's the date and location of this year's prayer breakfast, quickly?
It will be next week, May 4th at 7:30 to 9 a.m. at Judson's Betty Lindner Commons.
And ticket cost?
Ticket cost, it's very affordable, $16 for a ticket.
Valerie, come on. Go online and register.
She's there. She'll be there.
I
Bring
got to
your
have
camera.
somebody to sit with. And then the phone number?
847-628-1119.
And the website info for Val.
Sure.
And those who want to come?
Sure. judsonu.edu/prayer breakfast.
Okay, $16. Come on. Listen,
She's nodding.
Quickly, let's talk about President George W. Bush World Leadership Forum that you guys hosted a few weeks ago at Judson. One of the things that I liked best about President Bush was it was all politics aside. It was apolitical, bipartisan, no partisan. I don't know how to explain it, but there were Republicans, Democrats, and everything in between.
Yes, and certainly at Judson, you have all different political spectrum there at Judson University. Our students are very much into social justice issues and very much into community service.
I was impressed. One of the things that I like best about President Bush was his down-to-earth sense of humor and his easygoing manner that helped really make the evening. And actually, when he was funny, he was incredibly funny, and he had the crowd in stitches. And in person, he's gorgeous. I have to say I'm sorry. No disrespect intended. Just letting the ladies know. And I like that his presentation, as I said, was anything but political, and it was all about events and presidential anecdotes and business life. And these, what I'm going to say next, because I took notes, these are strictly my impressions and the way I interpreted things he said, but here's a couple of the business tips and life lessons that particularly struck a chord with me. One thing he said at the beginning was understand what you know and surround yourself with understand what you don't know and surround yourself with capable, knowledgeable people, and then listen. And I've been told that by many business people in the past, that when you get into a situation, a leadership situation, you got to realize what you don't know about things and then get the support staff around you and then listen, correct?
Correct. I think the thing that was so amazing for us at Judson was we really wanted him to speak about free enterprise, and he did. He spoke about leadership and just exactly, which is the program, the entrepreneurial program that we wish to speak about. He gave tips to our students, really sound advice, and he also advised them, turn off the TV, stop texting, read, read a book. And you realized in listening to him that he's an avid reader and he's a historian.
Yes.
He studied history as an undergrad at Yale.
One of my favorites was exactly what you said. It was toward the end. He said, read more than you watch TV. He says he watches very little TV except for a Rangers game or two. And he said, forget all that computer chit-chat stuff. Broaden your horizons and read about leaders. And he also said, one of the other things, when he asked about Mexico and foreign trade, he said something to the effect of, don't quote me, America benefits when there's wealth in our neighborhood. When our neighbors prosper, we do well.
Yes, that struck me too, especially given all of the developments here and sort of the public debate here in our own backyard. To hear his words on that was really interesting.
I thought also when we don't have time to go into it now, but his story was moving about 911 when somebody asked him. That was extremely moving. And also when he was criticized for measuring and testing the Texas school children, and his take on it was, when you run a business, you measure, you don't guess. When you guess, you're finished. And he was talking about this education reform and measuring the students' test performance, and as I said, some criticized him for it, and he said it's unfair not to measure. And he also said that for America to feel we can't compete with India and China, it's like being in a psychological fetal position. I believe we can compete and we can excel.
It's true. One thing that I noted, because at Judson we are a Christian liberal arts school, we're interested in how your faith and values impact your decision making. And one thing he talked about that really struck a chord with me, he was talking about Rwanda and Africa and the decision to provide aid to those who were devastated by AIDS. And he said, I couldn't as a leader stand by and watch the decimation of a generation in Africa. He said that in my conscience I couldn't do. And I thought that was really compelling and very telling about faith and values and leadership and how we, in whatever capacity we're in, are called to see what matters to us most, and to take that into our practical everyday lives. And the same was true when he was talking about 9/11, and he with a little boy in the classroom that was reading, and he was not going to interrupt him, even though these devastating things were happening, and he was updated. He wanted to wait for that to be finished. And then he said, I realized then my job was to protect that child and that child's parents and that child's homeland. And it crystallized for him what he had to do
very
next.
Very moving
It
story.
was a goosebump moment.
And then another one, good principles last forever, and believe in the Almighty and in freedom. And it was an outstanding presentation. And one of the funniest that had the crowd cracking up was, and I think this might be in his book, it was a story about his dog Barney and Russia's Prime Minister Putin. And Barney, I guess, didn't take too well to Putin. And I guess when President Bush went to visit Putin in Russia at his Dachau, up gallops a Russian wolfhound, and they are pretty big. And Putin whispers to Bush, my dog is bigger than your dog. And he says, bigger, faster, stronger. And the crowd just went nuts, didn't they? And that kind of about says it all for right now. We don't have a whole lot of time, but I want to thank Mary for being with us, and anything you'd like to leave our listeners with?
Judson will be having another World Leaders Forum. I just want to invite you all. It was a great moment for Judson, but even more for Elgin, Illinois, that we could bring a world leader talking about things that are relevant to us today, and also leading with some great comments about how you want to lead your life in the future.
I was impressed. I was sincerely impressed. It was fabulous. I wish you guys had it on tape so that you could put it on your website or something, because he was outstanding. Let's see, it's always a sincere pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me. We'd love to be here.
And I want to come and talk to you about a few things, so
Sounds great. Call you. Come anytime.
It's halftime, so before we go on, you're listening to the Laura Dion-Jones Show on WRMN 1410 AM.